Poor boy's voice melts hearts, golden buzzer for Hotel California. It was a cold Friday evening in Los Angeles when 12-year-old Miguel stood behind the stage curtain, clutching a beat-up guitar he'd found in a dumpster 2 years ago. His shoes had holes, his jacket was too thin for the weather, and his hands trembled, not from the chill, but from the thought of facing thousands of strangers. This was his one chance. For as long as he could remember, music had been his escape, his secret world where the hunger, the noise of the streets, and the loneliness faded away. But tonight was different. Tonight, his voice could change everything. Miguel had been living in a small shelter with his mother, a quiet woman who worked double shifts cleaning offices. His father had left years ago, and money was always tight, so tight that sometimes dinner was just bread and water. Still, his mother never let go of one truth: Mijo, your gift will take you further than money ever could. Don't let fear steal it from you. She didn't know he had secretly signed up for America's biggest talent show, hoping that maybe, just maybe, someone would hear him. The host called his name, and Miguel stepped into the blinding stage lights. The judges smiled politely, but he could see the doubt in their eyes, just another shy kid with a guitar. What will you be singing? One asked. Miguel swallowed. Hotel California, he replied softly. The audience murmured. It wasn't the kind of song people expected from a boy who looked like he'd never even owned a real stage outfit. The first note from his guitar rang out, slightly out of tune. A few people shifted in their seats. But then Miguel's voice rose, soft at first, then steady, pure, and heartbreakingly beautiful. His tone carried a depth that made people forget his age. It was the voice of someone who had lived through long nights, silent tears, and dreams that seemed too far away to touch. The judges leaned forward, captivated. By the chorus, the arena was silent except for Miguel's voice. His eyes closed, his fingers moving with instinct, he sang like the words were his own story, a journey through hardship, longing, and the fragile hope of finding a home. People in the audience began wiping their eyes. The camera caught one judge quietly whispering, "He's not just singing, he's telling his life." Halfway through, something unexpected happened. In the front row, a man in a tailored suit stood up. He had been scrolling on his phone when Miguel began, but now his face was pale. His wife touched his arm, and he whispered, "That's the song my brother used to sing to me before he died." It sounds exactly like him. The man, a well-known music producer, had attended the show only to support another contestant. Now, he couldn't take his eyes off the boy on stage. Miguel's final note lingered in the air, trembling but powerful, like it didn't want to let go. Then, silence. A beat. 2 beats. And then, the sound of the golden buzzer slamming down. Gold confetti exploded above him, raining down like sunlight breaking through a storm. The audience erupted in cheers, the judges standing to applaud. Miguel stood frozen, tears streaming down his face. The producer rushed backstage during the break. He found Miguel sitting on a folding chair, holding the guitar like it was the only thing keeping him grounded. "Kid," he said, kneeling so they were eye to eye, "you've got something rare. And I'm not talking about talent, it's heart. You sing like you're giving people a piece of your soul." He handed Miguel a business card. "When this show is over, call me. I want to help you make music the world will hear." Miguel's mother, who had been watching from the wings, stepped forward, covering her mouth with her hands. She hugged her son tightly. "I told you, Mijo," she whispered, "your gift would take you far." In that moment, Miguel realized it wasn't just about winning. It was about every time he had sung to keep from crying, every time his mother had given him her share of food, every stranger who had dropped coins in his guitar case on the street. It was about love, sacrifice, and believing even when no one else could see the dream. In the weeks that followed, Miguel's audition clip went viral. People around the world sent messages, sharing how his performance reminded them of lost loved ones, broken dreams they still hoped to mend, and the courage to keep going. Donations poured into the shelter where he lived, enough to help dozens of families. Miguel and his mother moved into a small apartment, and he started recording his first single, with that same beat-up guitar, now repaired and shining under studio lights. Months later, Miguel stood on a much bigger stage, singing for a packed stadium. He looked out at the sea of faces, people from all walks of life, united by music, and smiled. He didn't see himself as the poor boy from the shelter anymore. He was proof that no voice is too small, no dream too far, when it's carried by hope and kindness. And somewhere in the front row, his mother clapped with tears in her eyes, knowing that the world had finally heard what she'd always known, that her boy's voice could melt hearts, heal wounds, and change lives. Because sometimes, the most beautiful songs are born from the hardest battles, and the quietest dreams can echo loud enough to be heard by the whole world.